Now at 6, betting on sports can risk more than money. We're going to hear from an area expert on the impact of sports betting. Plus, life can be a lot better with some pie. How a Southeast Kansas bakery is celebrating Pie Day. And a Southwest Missouri man looks to voters to save his popular haunted house.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
When March Madness begins this week, it'll be the first time betting on the tournament will be legal in Kansas, but that can bring a problem. This is KOAM News at 6. I'm Dow Quick. KOAM Shagun Bamadelli spoke to a certified peer specialist about gambling addictions and has more.
According to a study by the National Council on Problem Gambling, around 2% of adults in the U.S. have a gambling problem. That equates to around 5 million people.
It can be likened to any other addiction in that people can get completely consumed by it, powerless over it, and it's an absolute home wrecker.
Gambling addiction can be a slippery slope.
Well, I think it's a very subtle slide into addiction. People start out, and it's fun at first, and then they find that it becomes fun plus problems, and then it's just problems. And by the time it's just problems, they find themselves trapped in it.
This is the first year sports betting is legal in Kansas. One local says it will be betting this year.
I wouldn't really bet more on like the teams that are very popular and have a good skill set, but rather on the teams that get overlooked and see if they can shock the world and make it to the top where nobody has really ever made it to.
Although he has lost money in the past, Brooks says it is good to have some skin in the game.
Rather than just watching it at your own house or in the stands or wherever you're at, you can really be involved in the game, whether it's them shooting the ball or them getting a steal. It really just depends on what's going on, but mainly it just gets you involved in the game.
Reporting in Pittsburgh, Shagun Bamadelli, KOAM News.
Sports gambling became legal in Kansas in September. The National Council on Problem Gambling offers resources and support to people who might be struggling with addiction. Today is 3/14 National Pie Day. To celebrate, a Southeast Kansas country store has some sweet deals. Circles Pecans and Country Store in McCune specializes in pecan pies, deli sandwiches, candies, fudge, and other Amish goods. The store's owners say Pie Day is the perfect day to host a sale and offer some freebies to the public.
Most of our customers are travelers coming from Wichita, coming from Kansas City, coming from Branson, Springfield, back and forth. And so a lot of them will be like, oh, I'll be here tomorrow and I want to pick up pie then.
Circles Pecans and Country Store is on Highway 400 in McCune. Not bad weather on this Pie Day. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy.
No, after a cold start during the morning hours, pretty good afternoon. Still a little bit below where we should be for this time of the year, as we should be topping near 60, but 53. Look at that start, 20 during the morning hours, but at least we have clear skies. We have sunny skies. Some clouds kind of skirting just to our south. A weak little wave down through parts of Texas will not affect us, but this will. Here's our next storm system building the western third of the country. This will start to affect us by Thursday. Until then, we actually start to warm things back up. Lower 50s right now. The winds are going to start to pick up a bit as we go through the next few days. We're going to drop back through the 40s into the mid 30s as we go through the overnight hours tonight. So not as cold as what we have seen. All right, so the winds pick up, big warm up tomorrow, thunderstorms, some could be strong on Thursday, sharply cooler on Friday. We're going to break it all down for you here in just a bit.
See you soon. A Moran, Kansas man previously convicted of child sex crimes is back in jail on child porn charges. 58-year-old Keith Levesque faces 31 counts of sexual exploitation of a child. Court records show Levesque had previously been charged with 95 counts of sexual exploitation of a child. That was in 2018. He later pleaded guilty to 3 counts of attempted sexual exploitation of a child, received a 25-year probation sentence in 2020. New job opportunities are coming to Kansas after a partnership was made with Wichita State. Reporter Jaya Brown has details.
A new center expected to bring 100 jobs to the Wichita area.
The future in fighting against violent crime in this country is going to come straight through Wichita, and specifically through Wichita State.
Has announced the partnership with Wichita State University to help fight crime across the United States.
We're trying to catch trigger pullers and shooters who are terrorizing communities all over the United States. It's essential to solving federal firearm crimes, but it also prevents future crimes.
Senator Jerry Moran and the director of ATF says this center will bring internships and training for the careers in law enforcement.
I mean, it's pleasing to me when we bring a program to Wichita State and we're doing something at Wichita State that increases the opportunity for our students, but we always want to make sure that what goes with that are the jobs in Kansas that those students can fill. And we're now going to not only educate students, but create career opportunities for them here.
The Center of Excellence will also serve as a second crime laboratory to help process criminal evidence.
The NIBIN machine that does ballistics. So law enforcement sends in casings and they're analyzed, and then we hope to find the criminal as a result of that analysis. In addition to that, research is going to take place in this new facility. All around, I think, a significantly wonderful day for Kansas.
This partnership supports Wichita State's priority to bring in new talent, pipeline to the region, and to diversify and boost the state's economy through innovative education. Still ahead, how a Southwest Missouri man looks to save his long-standing haunted house. Plus, 3 days away, we're going to hear from the Carl Junction girls team on their semifinal matchup. It's not ghosts and goblins trying to shut down a haunted house in Springfield, Missouri. It's the city using eminent domain. Joe Hickman reports on the owner's efforts to get voters to save his spooky fun business.
We was getting ready to start with the lawsuit.
House of Terror owner Sterling Mathis has decided to take a different tack in trying to save the downtown Springfield business he's been a part of for 45 years, since he was 16 years old.
We're one of the longest running haunted houses in America right now.
So that's why he's following in the footsteps of the Galloway neighborhood's successful zoning fight by collecting signatures to put his future in the hands of voters after the city council recently voted to take over his property by eminent domain. The city's charter allows for voting referendums if enough signatures can be gathered, but
to our knowledge, a referendum process has never been used in an eminent domain situation here in Springfield.
The issue is that the city wants to tear down the building because it interferes with much needed repairs to the Main Street Bridge nearby and the Jordan Creek Renewal Project. Officials say if the hotel stays in place,
we would definitely have to redesign the project. It is a bottleneck, and the whole project at its core is a flood reduction project. And so in order to reduce the flooding on Main Avenue as well as fix the bridge, we would need that structure to no longer be there.
The city says the bridge is in such bad shape that it has weight limits.
CU buses are not allowed to cross it, as well as fire vehicles.
Mathis disagrees with several city statements, including that they've tried to bargain in good faith.
They've offered me $550,000. Well, I just got an estimate on a roof that needs to be fixed on my other building. It's $375,000 just for that.
Our process includes getting multiple third-party appraisals. So that's bringing in somebody who's independent, not from the city. And our offer has been basically offering him what a comparable building would be.
If they can set me up where I can do the same thing as I'm doing right now, I don't want any money. Just get me over there and get us going.
Mathis is still trying to figure out just how many signatures he'll need, but is aiming for 2,000. If he does get enough signatures, the city council will have to decide what to do next.
So if it comes back to city council, they could vote to repeal the ordinance to move forward with eminent domain, or they could decide to put it to a vote of the people.
The city says it's still working to pay Mathis a fair price for his land. A little bit later, a motivated Carl Junction girls team looks ahead to their semifinal matchup against the Notre Dame Bulldogs.
Plus, we're tracking thunderstorms for Thursday. We're going to look at that coming up. Well, it actually turned out to be a pretty good Tuesday for us today. We had sunny skies. It was a little cold this morning. We dropped back to 20 degrees, hard freeze, but we're warming up, so not bad. Pretty good day for us today. Nice shot, Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. All right, temperatures, most of us still sitting into lower 50s. Case in point, Iola 50, 54. In Nowata, we have Neosho at 51. Lamar is sitting at 50 degrees. And as we go through the evening hours, our temperatures will slowly drop back over the next few hours. But it looks pretty good. We got clear skies right now. So we're looking at 7th and range line sitting at 52. East, southeasterly winds are light at about 5 to 10. But those are going to pick up. Through the rest of the evening, we slide back, kind of hang out, mid to upper 30s across the region. All right, clear skies. We have a few clouds, southern counties. Besides that, we look pretty good. This little weak wave will not affect us, but this storm system will. The western third of the country, big system heading toward us, which will affect us on Thursday. Until then, the winds start to pick up and we warm up a little bit more. We're going to start mid to upper 30s. We'll get these mid and upper level clouds increasing throughout the day. We'll be well into the 50s by noon. Once we get into the afternoon, I think most of us lower 60s. 60 in Pittsburgh, 61 at Grand Lake, 57 in Monette, Fredonia, up to about 62 degrees. Tomorrow night, clouds continue to thicken. We get a few random showers by daybreak on Thursday morning. Hit and miss showers throughout the morning hours, but it's the afternoon that we get a little line of showers and thunderstorms. So here's 2:30, here's our front. You can see the winds out of the northwest, and this front is going to drive in. So by 5 p.m., showers and thunderstorms through the metro. Now, some of these storms could be a little bit stronger, not expecting severe, but something I'm watching as these storms drive through. Now, look what happens behind it. The cold air rushes in, and we may even get a little burst of light snow as we get into late evening and then into Friday morning, and then all this will push off toward the east, but then we turn significantly colder. All right, temperatures for you tomorrow. We get out of the 40s by 10, 11, 50s, hitting 60 by the time we get into the afternoon hours. The winds get fairly strong. Southerly winds pick up for us tomorrow, so gusts 25 to 35. But tomorrow night, they approach 40 to 45 miles per hour. So it's going to be super windy as we go into Wednesday night, and Thursday. Rainfall with this system, we'll have to see where those thunderstorms line up, but I think most of us 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 an inch. And there could be some isolated heavier amounts with this storm system. And again, anything strong, mainly from Joplin south, not anticipating severe, but we're going to watch it. 62 tomorrow, 61 on Thursday, down to 25 Friday morning. Only 43 on St. Patrick's Day. It's going to be dry over the weekend. It's going to be chilly, highs into the 40s. Could get a few showers Monday, thunderstorms late next week, but we have 5 nights in a row that we're going to be below freezing. And once you're getting into late March, you don't want to see that.
No, because some things are budding and they don't like that cold temperature. Thanks, Doug. Black bear season in Missouri is on its way. The Missouri Department of Conservation announced black bear season will be October 16th to the 25th. Hunters who applied will be chosen at random May 1st through the 31st. The MDC will offer 400 permits for the taking of a maximum of 40 black bears. Only Missouri residents who are at least 11 years old by the first day of the hunt are eligible for permits. To learn more about black bear hunting season, download the KOAM News Now app. Still ahead, Missouri Southern softball hits the field for a doubleheader against Lincoln. And a midweek conference matchup for Pitt State baseball against Emporia State. Jacob Leonard has those highlights and more up next.
Missouri Southern baseball is one of the hottest teams in the MIAA right now. The Lions have won 7 of their first 9 conference games after sweeping 5th-ranked Central Oklahoma over the weekend. After having Monday off, Lions are right back on the field tonight. Missouri Southern at home for a midweek conference game against Rogers State. That game is just getting started in Joplin. No score in the first. We'll have the highlights from this one right here tonight at 10. Pittsburgh State Lewis also on the field tonight, hosting MIAA rival Emporia State. Now, Emporia State with a runner on first in the first inning. Nixon Brannon, though, perfect throw to second to get the runner trying to steal. On the mound, Kaysen Long gets out of the inning a few moments later with the big swing and the miss there. But the Gorillas down 2-0 after 2. Now in the third, offense gets going. Austin Warkins grounds one into right center, and look at that. Gets to his legs out there. Joe Hamilton scores all the way from first. Workins in there for the triple. Next batter, that's Brannon dropping one into left. Workins trots in from third. Gorillas take their first lead after 3. This one, though, still going. It's tied 3-3 in the bottom of the 4th. Missouri Southern softball is on a 9-game winning streak. Last Friday, they played their first MIAA games of the season, sweeping a doubleheader from Central Missouri. Missouri Southern on the field for another conference doubleheader this afternoon on the road against Lincoln. In Game 1, the Lions fall in a good one, 4-3. Leighton Withers goes 1 for 2 with a solo home run. So in Game 2, Southern tries to bounce back and split the day, and right now, they're on their way, leading 7-0 in the top of the 5th. Adriana Young is 1 for 1 in the game with a pair of RBIs. The Carl Junction girls basketball team is just 3 days away from playing in the Missouri Class 5 state semifinals. They'll face the Notre Dame Bulldogs out of Cape Girardeau Friday night, with the winner moving on to the state championship game. Now, this is a motivated Carl Junction team. They got bounced early in the playoffs last year, and this group of seniors made the Final Four as freshmen back in 2020. They didn't even get to finish it due to COVID-19.
You can feel it, you can see it in their eyes. A lot of them were part of that 2020 group that didn't get to play in the Final Four. Destiny being the starting point guard then, Hallie and Allie a little bit too. So you can see that in their eyes. You know, Kylie Scott's sister was a part of that group, so she's got a piece there that there's a connection. You know, last year West Plains beating us. They didn't upset us, but beating us, that's a huge piece. And even the year before they got us. So these kids want to get there, and we've been able to accomplish that. But our work's not finished. So we're excited, and hopefully we can have a good showing on Friday and Saturday.
Friday's game will tip off at 6 p.m. in Springfield. And that's it for sports. We're back after this.
Here's a look at what's coming up on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. The Coffeyville, Kansas City Council is expected to discuss the recent termination of the city's fire chief at the meeting tonight. Plus, the East Newton School District hosts a meeting to discuss a project adding a new junior high gym to the high school, and how an outbreak of avian flu is impacting the prices of eggs we all pay at the grocery store. Those stories, a whole lot more, of course, is coming up tonight. KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. A Missouri police officer didn't just protect and serve, he delivered an actual baby. South City police officer James Haney was nearing the end of his shift when he got a call about a woman in labor. When he arrived on the scene, the baby couldn't wait a second longer.
Me and Mom had a quick talk. I was like, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to do it. She's like, okay. And literally within a minute or two, we had a baby girl. Again, Mom did great. Mom did amazing.
Haney is just 5 months into his law enforcement career and, as you might imagine, had never delivered a baby before, but he says his 12 years of military training helped him through the situation. The new mom is now back home from the hospital and resting with her healthy newborn. Congrats to all and a salute to you, sir.
Anytime we see stories like that, you know, when you're having a child, you picture how it's going to go. That's never how they picture it.
Never. Maybe in your worst nightmares, but all's well that ends well in this case. The weather getting cold.
Yeah, it's going to be another chilly night. Mid-30s for us tonight, but warming up tomorrow. Also windy, 62.
Final sports news.
We'll have full game highlights from that Pittsburgh State baseball game right here at 10.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you right back here at 10. Let's make it a great evening.